guys, Steph here. Okay, so today what we've got for you, I know some of you people sort of message me and say, can we see the pens before and after? So today we've got two pens that were actually spotted and reserved by a good viewer. He spotted the pens and basically reserved them subject to full restoration. So what we thought we'd do is show you them two pens. Now you would have actually seen these pens in my last pen haul video. The first one, here it is, there you go, nice handsome pen, there we go. Oh, there we go. Unfortunately the nib is missing. The pen itself is rather tired, dirty, so generally just needs a good restoration. And here's the pen in question again. As you saw, came in a nice swan box. If we open the box up, take the pen out, pop that to one side, you've got the instructions inside here. Look at that. There we go. We've got the instructions inside the box, which again is, well, a little bit unusual. It's nice to be able to get the instructions with the pen itself. So we'll pop that to one side and let's bring on the pen itself. And here's the pen in question. Absolutely gorgeous, a very nice handsome example, and yes, what we have is a Swan self-filler 3240. First of all, let's go straight to the barrel imprint. We've got a lovely clear barrel imprint, as you can see there. It says Swan self-filler, and I think it says maybe Todd and Company, made in England. Okay, and if we take you to the bottom of the barrel, there we go, you can see it's got the model number 3250. It's been fully restored, fully disassembled, everything's been cleaned, we've put a brand new sack in it, in absolutely gorgeous condition. Now, one thing that may not be too clear on this video as I'm looking through the camera, it looks black, but it's actually a green fountain pen. And the 3250, I think the 3 tells us that it's a self-filler, the number 2 tells us that it should have a number 2 nib, and the number 40 indicates that it's in green. Let's take it up to the cap. There we go. We've got these two cap bands to the bottom of the cap. To the top we've got the very recognizable Swan ball clip with a Swan logo to the very top there, as you can see. And as you can see, it's lovely and clean. The size of this pen capped is 127 millimeters capped. Around the barrel it's a nice chunky 12 millimeters in diameter. It's dated from around about the 1940s, and as we said, it's a Swan and it's made by the Maybe Todd and Company Limited. Let's unscrew the cap for you. Let's give you a couple of the sort of customary twirls. There we go. Let's pop the cap down and let's take you up to the section. The section itself is in black, as you can see. Also, just to the bottom of the section there, you can see it says Swan as well. And then to the nib there, we've got a lovely number 2 nib. Now, as you saw before, the nib was actually missing, so what I've done, I mean, again, one of the things I mentioned in my pen haul videos, I buy pens for parts, etc. So this nib came from a parts pen, so that's where it comes in handy to actually buy the parts pen. So we've got a nice correct number 2 nib. There's a sideways view. There's the feed underneath, lovely and clean. And if I can just catch the light, it's to the bottom there. You can see it also says Swan on the feed itself. But we've got this, there we go, I think that might be a little bit better for you. Okay, but everything lovely, lovely and clean. It's a lovely pen, a lovely chunky pen. Even with my large hands, it's a lovely, lovely pen to hold and to write with. Okay, so we'll show you a writing sample of that in a moment. And then also what you would have seen in the same video is this pen here. There we go, a nice little pen there in this gold coloured, quite good condition as it is, so just needs a quick clean. And here's that same pen once again, in absolutely, as I said, it was actually in quite a good condition as it was, but what we've done, again, we've disassembled it, cleaned everything, put a brand new sack in the pen, and it's ready to go. A lovely example. You can see it comes in this sort of engine turn pattern. It's like a chevron pattern. I believe they come in different patterns, this particular pen. I've also seen what they term as a Grecian border pattern. But if I take you up to the, there we go, to the very top there, and I'm hoping you can see, it says wall pen, and then it says gold filled, made in USA. Okay, so that's the, well, it's not a barrel imprint, that's the only imprint on the pen. As you can see, while we're on the top, it's a ring top pen. Now it's a small pen, as you can see. The size of it as it is capped is approximately 96 millimeters capped. Around the barrel it's a nice 9.5 millimeters in diameter. As you've just read, it's a wall pen. You can see it's a lever fountain pen there. And the nice thing about these pens is, if I actually just open the lever for you, and hopefully you'll be able to see, it's got this sort of spring sort of inside the lever itself, so it's what they term as a spring loaded lever. Okay, but as we said, in gorgeous condition. There's no plate wear, there's no dings, etc. It's in gorgeous condition. We're dating the pen from around about the 1920s, so it's quite an early pen, but once again, beautiful, beautiful condition. There's the section, and in this particular case we've got a lovely, it just simply reads wall number 2, 14 carat. It's got a lovely nib, as you can see. There's a sideways view, and again, similar to the last pen there, it's what we term as a ladder feed. Everything once again lovely and clean. Everything gets disassembled and everything gets cleaned. Now, as we can see, I've got quite large hands. It's quite a small pen to actually hold, but what we're going to do, because it'd be interesting to see how these pens actually write, so we'll start with this one first of all. I'm not going to fill the pen because, as I said, both of these pens have been reserved by the viewer, and as soon as I've done the video and cleaned the pens, they will be en route overseas. Now, one of the things that a gentleman sort of said to me, he says, well, yes, it's quite a small pen. He wasn't too sure himself, but he said, does the pen, does it cap? Now, I'm not a big fan of pens being capped, but in this particular case, the answer is yes, it does. And as you can see, it makes it a little bit more comfortable and a little bit longer to use. So what I'm going to do, let me just reach over, dip it in the ink, and let's see how the pen writes. So what we have is a wall pen, made in USA and made around about the 1920s. Writing very nicely indeed. You know, the always people ask me, does it have a flex nib? By looking at that, I would say, yeah, okay, we're getting a bit sort of running out of ink, but I'll leave it at that. But there you go, you can see it's writing, I would say, with a fine to medium line, little bit of flex on the nib, but writing very nicely indeed. Okay, so let's give that a wipe. As I said, once we finish the video, we'll clean the pen, and as I said, ready for shipping. And then back to the Swan pen here. Let's take the cap off. Let's dip the nib in the ink to the side. Now this one is a little, I have actually sort of looked at the nib closely, a little bit special in that, let me show you, it's a Swan. Sorry, I spelt it wrong. Swan self filler. This one made in England, and again, as we said earlier, made 1940s. Let me just give it another little dip. Now the question on this one, does it have any flex? Well, there we go. The answer is yes, it does. So if we do some figure of eights, and there we go. So the Swan, as you can see, the answer is yes, it does have a little bit of flex, and it's got a nice variation in the line. A lovely, lovely writer. Okay, so let's pop that to one side. Once again, let's wipe the nib. So let's pop the cap back on, and there we have it. So people say to me, Steph, how can I buy one of your pens? Well, just as this gentleman here, you can look at the videos, basically reserve a pen subject to restoration. So both of these, as I said, were reserved subject to restoration. I've restored them and they're now ready to be shipped. As I said, these two will be going overseas. So I hope you've enjoyed watching the video, looking at these pens as much as I enjoyed showing them to you people. Don't forget, leave a comment below. That little symbol there, press that thumbs up, give the videos a thumbs up to show that you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe as well. But I'm just going to say Slavo Ukraini, and from me and these gorgeous pens, I'm just going to say bye bye for now.